So I want to do some teaching. You know, I sit around and do this stuff all the time, and I don't really put out too much content about how to do it. So I've always tried to sell people on using GPS to do their work, like why it's so great, and I want to show you why. We're gonna drive to the job site here. They just fixed a dozer, and we're gonna prove why GPS is better, because I'm gonna explain this in the most simple way possible. So give me a minute, let's get back to the dozer and we'll start going over this. I just want to say that we did this whole job with GPS. All right, so here we are on the top of the mound. There's the D6. Let's head over here and park. Okay, so it looks like the battery box has been fixed on this. We had a little bit of an electrical problem there. One of the things I want to say is just always make sure your cords are plugged in, and make sure to do the proper inspection on your machine before you get started. Climb on up here and let's do it. Alrighty, make sure we crank that. Alright, now that we're settled in, I want to show you the GPS screen. So down here, there's two ways to turn this on. You can turn it on by simply pressing the power, which is what I ended up just doing here. And this turns it on the normal way. Now, since I accidentally pressed that, what you could have done is pressed and hold both of these until the screen shuts off and then turns back on, and then let go to turn this on in manager's mode. This takes a little bit to boot up, so give it some time. It'll also allow your machine to warm up as well. So some of the things that I want to go over today is how to properly use the GPS as far as creating slopes or levels. When you have a design, you're locked into those parameters, but there's times where those things have changed, or there's something wrong in the design where you have to do something on your own. And you can do it freehand if you have that skill. But if you want, you can also make a GPS design. Anything that you can do freehand can be done with GPS, just not this system. This system is the older system, and the reason I'm doing a video on it today, see, it's still booting up. This is old school. This is the older version, and if you guys let me know in the comments, if you want, I can do some earthwork stuff too, because I'm very fluent in earthworks. All right, so now that the machine's booted up, GPS. So what I have created here is just a slope, and you can kind of see it out here in the field. It slopes from the back to the front. This is a simple thing, just like pulling a string line. I'm gonna touch back here at my known point, then come up to this point and record both elevations. Right now, I need to get this top graded off before I show us how we're gonna do this slope. So give me some time here. So this right here is exactly why they think it takes the skill out of it, because you are absolutely capable of leaving your hand off of it and the machine doing its job. It's in auto right now, you can see that, but notice how if we're not close to grade, the GPS isn't really going to do anything for us. What we're going to have to do is get that down to grade, and now that that's registers within grade, it's going to try to maintain it. What this does is really just kind of take a lot of stress off for the operator. We're coming into some, like I'm just like not touching, see how we're coming in? Well, basically it's picking up the front of the machine, so we're gonna have to help it a little bit just by pulling back. See how we're maintaining that grade? We're a little high on that side, but we're pushing a full blade here. You know, a lot of people ask me why I like cat, and I want to give, you know, my reasons. So this machine is very capable, very powerful machine. If you notice, obviously a lot of you guys know dozers are gonna, you know, charge like this the best. So you cut a slot, you see there's this on both sides of the dozer. And honestly, that thing is pushing a lot of dirt. Now granted, any machine's gonna push dirt, okay? I just truly feel like this machine, Cat being the brand in general, does the best. We're just about there. I'm gonna get all this pushed down and create what's called a working platform or a working surface. Then I'm gonna start pushing that dirt that way, and you'll see why a little bit later, but it's looking good so far. Okay, so now that we've got this, what I call a working surface, a working platform, we're gonna start pushing this dirt this way, and this will take a little bit of time. But what I'm trying to do is get a straight path all the way over there so that we can basically, with our GPS, stringline that and determine what that slope's gonna be. It's gonna take a little bit of time to get rid of this, and I'll come back and find great stuff over here, but my main focus is getting this going because I need to see how much of that dirt needs to come up here and start figuring out where the dirt needs to go. That's one of the hardest parts about running a dozer. Isn't just about just pushing dirt, it's about knowing where to push the dirt and how to somewhat balance it. Give me some time, we'll have it going. Something I really want to say in this situation is, since we're teaching GPS here, I just want to say, see this, it's not on. When you got this kind of spoils, shut that off and manually push that down to a level that you can turn this on and grade it out at. So for the people that just want to jump in a machine and learn to run it, you're going to have to manually knock this stuff down as you go, and then come back, and then you can turn on the GPS and just start cutting it and shoving it to where you need it to go. But I just want to throw that out there. Don't be an auto junkie and just run auto all the time. In theory, I could just turn auto on and cut and just come in an 1/8 of my blade each and do 100 passes through here. But it's more efficient. We get rid of the bulk, get it down to something we can cut, and move on from there with the system. So if you want a freehand tip, I'm going to give you this, okay? When you're freehanding, what you want to do is let the blade enter the same, so you've got this, what a lot of people call horizon, all right? Nowadays, we also got slope meters in the machine. But what I'm trying to say is, if you want the machine to enter like this, then your blade's going to have to enter like that. And those tracks are going to follow that. If you want the blade, if you want the machine to come in flat, like what we're doing is shoving in, just coming in flat, taking down that bulk, your blade has to enter flat, okay? And then once the blade begins to push a pile, then it runs off of what your feel is on the actual machine. You're gonna feel it really in your seat, and then that's when this becomes like a gimbal. You're just trying to stabilize that and hold flat. Hope that helps. So in that short period of time, we've got a lot of that knocked down. Now we're on to the other pile. We're gonna try to push this out. But I wanna try to give you guys some tips here on how to move dirt, all right? Obviously, I need a lot of dirt on this slope. I've got to get it off the top because I need to figure out where my edge is up here and run that edge with the GPS, and then figure out where the dirt needs to go after that, okay? So, but I already know it's going down here, okay? But the one thing I want to say is, if you've had any experience plowing snow, you're probably going to be decent in a dozer because you already understand the concept, all right? Especially if you've plowed with a pickup truck. So there's two different types of dozer blades, and there's this blade, all right, which I call finish blade. It's actually called a 6-way blade. And then you got a bull blade, which is like what you see on the D6Ts, you know, the big, just a mass hogger is what I call them, all right? But picture your dozer like a snow plow, okay? I'm gonna push, because here's all my stuff, you know. If we were just pretending this was a parking lot and we're trying to clear it, we're gonna go through and push all the snow out as far as we can. okay? And then we'll come back and clean it up, and then you're gonna have little windrows like that down there, okay? But the fact is, once you get those, you can just windrow again, and then typically shove it out again, just right down the center, and then keep cleaning up your windrows. That's how you do it, but you should move from one side to another and just keep working. One of the other things that I wanna say is a lot of people don't just shovel snow in their driveway. A lot of people don't shovel the same, but see, if you're gonna make a good dozer operator, you're gonna probably be the guy who shovels this way half of the driveway and this way the other half of the driveway. And the reason I say that is because, well, other than, think about if you had a lot of snow, okay? If you were just shoveling and then dumping the dirt in front of, or this, if you were just shoveling and then dumping the dirt, I did it twice. If you were just shoveling and then dumping the snow right in front of the shovel, which is the way that a dozer pushes, okay, you're gonna build up, you're gonna constantly move that. But the most efficient way and fast way, which this is what makes you a good operator, is cutting it in half. We're gonna take this half this way, and when we're doing short pushes, there's not a lot of reverse time on the dozer. That's pretty hard on an undercarriage, reversing in a dozer. So I know it sounds crazy because they actually are designed to, you know, reverse and everything, but they're actually really, they don't like it, okay? It's not recommended to go very fast. And when you get on a long push, going fast and reverse is what we do. It's just what we do. Wears out the undercarriage bad. All right, but that's just my thing, you know. That's how I moved this whole pile, and there was piles like this up here. I'm getting them dumping over there because I need some more. You can see that was from the original pile over there by the truck. I'm just taking the dirt and shoving it where I need it to go because I'm just a dozer. I don't have an excavator up here to help me. So, you know, these things take time. So we got the majority of the pile pushed down. We've got this little bit left. And if you'll notice, I'm actually starting to push this dirt this way. And the reason I'm doing that is because I've already started the slope on this, so I kind of know where dirt's gonna go. I'm still gonna show you how to create the design on the GPS. So we're just gonna keep working this dirt this way. Once we get that established, you know, I need to keep it out of my line here because I'm gonna do a line through here, which you'll see. And we'll get there. So a lot of people are probably wondering, you know, why don't you just shove the dirt straight off the slope? And that's something I could have done for time's sake to make it go a lot faster, is just shove everything this way. But like I said, I know that I need dirt down here, so I'm taking that little bit of extra time to go ahead and put that dirt where I need it. That way I'm not trying to shove another pile, because then technically you're moving it twice. You're still moving it twice either way, but if we're gonna move it 2 times, I'd rather do it right. So I'm just taking this dirt down here. Here in a second, what I'll do is I'm gonna pop the drone, and we'll get the drone up to kind of show you a scale of what this looks like and what we're trying to accomplish. I'm just windrowing this dirt along the top of the slope, somewhere near the top. Obviously I have to keep it off of my toe. But the reason I'm pushing this dirt along the top is it's easier to work dirt and more efficient to work it downhill than it is to shove it up. And I know I need a lot of dirt this way, and when you're working on a hill, you're gonna lose dirt working a slope regardless. So once I get this, I'll be able to channel and shove a lot more dirt this way without losing everything down the hill. That's why I'm putting everything on top. Okay, so you can see we've got this windrow here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna windrow all this dirt to the right of me. I'm gonna need some of that dirt over there. So right now what I'm doing is just lining up, trying to get that on the horizon there and just shoot straight for it. And with the GPS, I'm going to show you how to do this. But let's get this path cleared real quick. We can see the path that I'm going to use, and then I'm going to... Okay, so now we're going to create our slope. What we're going to do is we're going to hit this menu button. You notice this pops up, it'll pop up slope too. What we're going to do is come in here and create a slope. Over here, using these soft keys, we can click New Slope. It's going to ask you if you want to use the last known coordinate system, which if you've been doing the same project, yes, you can use this coordinate system, it's fine. Okay, so right here it's asking me for a northing and easting. Okay, so point one, I know I'm on grade up here, and I'm going to make sure that I'm using the right side of my blade. So I need to make sure that the right side is selected. If I wanted to use the left side, I'd press this soft key to use the left side, but I'm using the right, so I want to make sure that's right. Always make sure that's right. Then you're just going to push here. Now these are going to come in here, your northing, eastings, and elevations. I know this is a 7113. Now I'm going to go down to point 2, which is going to be down there, and I'm going to select another point. So basically, string line, guys, I'm going to pull a string line, a virtual string line, all the way down to here. Let me get right back with you. We'll meet you at the... Once again, since I had this design already running, it knows what grade is. So I'm on grade here, and I'm using blade right for point 2. I'm gonna click here, just like we did down there. Now these elevations are different, that's fine. It's completely fine. Now to figure our cross slope. For the surface, I don't want anything. So to the left of my right side that I shot from, I don't want anything. So I'm gonna enter 0 there, and you have to enter this. Coming down to the right side, that's where I determine my slope. Now guys, if you want an easy way to remember slope, or how to, you know, figure slope, so 1% and 100 feet is 1 foot of fall. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna just throw about a 19% slope. Using these arrow keys, this is how I select that. And I'm gonna just hit that. But see how this is? That means it's gonna slope this way. I want to slope this way. So I'm gonna change that right here using this soft key. Now we know we're gonna slope this way and we're gonna be flat to the left. I'm gonna hit OK. Now, Earthworks has definitely spoiled me, but if you want to be organized, name your slope, okay? It takes a lot of typing and, yeah, you know, just name your slope if you want. Earthworks is way better though. Hit OK. Hit OK again. Now you've selected the design that you've created. So slope Y is our design. Let's bring it back and check it out. Now look at exactly how that created that. Now, like I told you, I was running my edge, which is what I wanted to do, and then start the slope from there. So now, we're gonna have a 20%, 19% slope to the right. Now I did this on purpose to show you that GPS is not everything. See how what we're doing here? See how we're cutting this out? This is our design, we just cut the crown out. This is something I've always talked about, is understanding your focus points and your guidance methods. So in the dozer, the proper guidance method for this particular task would be 1-point focus. If you come down here to guidance method, change your method here and take it to 1-point focus. See how it's going to show you more of the things it can do? It's not going to worry about this stuff. It's going to cut that. So now that we've changed that, adjust to avoid overcut. Typically, yes, always avoid overcut. There will be some situations where you won't use that, but we're just going over the basics. Now I'm going to be able to, if I hit auto, see how it's now going to hold the blade. See the blade hopping here, and make sure that we don't cut that out. This is a very important thing to running GPS, or you'll cut crowns out of your roads. It's easier to work your dirt from the top down, so it's nice to establish the top of your slope so you know. And windrowing everything to the left until we get this established. And I'm also shoving dirt in the direction I know it needs to go. Now you know the basics of just creating a slope, which is a very important thing. Most of the things that we do out here is sloping and levels. Some things may be flat, like a building pad where you're just one solid level, and then there's lots of ditches and stuff. This was just simply doing a slope for a mound. This was based on the scenario we were in. It's going to take me some time to get this finished up, and we'll show a result video, but I wanted to put this out because this will probably take me about a day to get this done. And like I said, I'll post a result video, but I just want to share the knowledge so that you guys see it's not as hard as it looks. It does look confusing and tricky when you're starting, but I just want to simplify that. So I'm gonna get back to work and get this thing working and get this slope going. We've got our design set and everything, so we're good to go. I'm gonna knock this thing out. All right, so we're done for the day. Time to go home. Let's just see what we created, and I wanted to make sure that I showed you guys that. Let's walk over here and check it out. It's not looking bad. You can see that design pretty good right there. If you hold, we've got a lot of cut, a lot of dirt to take out of it. Like I said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to keep doing these. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments. Really do everything, you know, my drive is based on my feedback. If I'm helping you, I feel like I'm doing something good. So subscribe, like this, let me know in the comments. Appreciate you guys.